Hey, what's up guys, John here. A $10 trillion food catastrophe is incoming.
The United Nations warns that unsustainable food production is costing societies trillions of dollars a year.
The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization says such costs to health, the environment and society add up to at least $10 trillion a year.
And governors, politicians and mayors all throughout America have signed on to a new pledge to completely change and overhaul our entire food supply. Everything that we eat is about to change. Many people don't realize what's actually happened. A lot of people look back at 2020 saying, hey, 2020 was a bad year, but it'll get better in 2021. What if I were to tell you, in about 8 months, that'll be a 4-year anniversary since 2020 began, all that chaos. And we're nowhere near going back to normal. In fact, what we're walking into in the next couple of years is going to blow your mind. I'm going to show you what's going on right now with food supply, what's going to happen with our nutrition, everything. Everything is going through a really, really big change. And I advise everybody to make sure your finances are in order, put yourself in a really, really strong position, because the more money you have, the more options you have, the better, right? We're walking into something big here. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content to educate more people about what's really going on. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description below this video. Schedule a free strategy session. See if we can help you position you for a world of uncertainty with great credit at GreatCreditFast.com. Take a look at this. So this is The Economist, right? Look at this. It looks like like a weed, but the more you zoom in, the more you realize it's nothing but, right? Then we look at who actually runs this magazine, right? When you look at this, you go right here to shareholders, and everyone knows this name right here, right? You can't make this stuff up. But then look at what all these publications have put out today. All of them, all nationwide, worldwide, they're all saying the same exact thing. And then when you look at what these politicians here in America are doing, it connects so perfectly, like precision. It's unbelievable how well this connects. So the current agri-food system, keyword current agri-food system, adds trillion in hidden costs to the global economy every year due to unhealthy diets, farm emissions. Pay attention to this word, these two words, because this is what is going to be the reason for this major change, right? This is what's happening. Undernourishment. The United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization said on Monday, the UN agency conducted analysis across 154 countries to determine the true cost of agriculture and food system, and found it's added at least $12.7 trillion in hidden costs in just 2020. Now, look at this. Global Health, and this is The Guardian. Global Health, and this also came out Monday, yesterday, right? Same day. Global health, environment cost, price tag, non-communicable diseases, malnutrition, poverty, and harm to the planet is 10% of global GDP. Harm to the planet. They say the health and environmental damage caused by food production costs the world $10 trillion, or $8 trillion a year, or 10% of global GDP. Conditions such as diabetes and heart disease, the consequence of poor diets, accounting to $7.3 trillion according to the Food and Agriculture Organization, which have put a price tag on the hidden cost of global industry in its annual report. In the last few years, people have realized the planetary boundaries and have been put under pressure, and in many cases crossed right. So while food is central to our life, it also has significant impact to environment and health. Now look at this. Again, yesterday, UN Foods $10 trillion. Then again, this is Barron's. Now what Barron's says is fascinating. Says the food and agricultural system added at least $10 trillion in hidden costs to the global economy every year due to unhealthy diets, emissions, and undernourishment. The Food and Agriculture Organization conducted analysis in 154 countries, right? They're saying the same exact thing, putting this out everywhere. The study found that at least 73% of hidden costs are linked to bad diets and high and ultra-processed foods, fats and sugars, causing obesities and non-communicable diseases. More than 20% of the hidden costs are associated with environmental issues, including emissions from greenhouse gases and nitrogen, water use, and changes land use. Now, look at this. Look at what's going on in Europe, and then I'm going to show you what's happening here in America. In the big cities, New York City, for example, LA, all the same thing, all doing the same thing. So halving Europe's food waste could solve rest for the world's food shortages. When did this come out? This came out today. They said, new research shows that European food consumption draws unnecessary excessively on global resources, which is why researchers are calling for political action. Many of the foods that are consumed in Europe are produced in countries outside of Europe. Food loss and waste later in the chain, see box, occurs during the food supply chain from the primary agricultural sector in Europe and the rest of the world until it feeds mouths in Europe's. And so they go on to say that the international context food loss occurs in the primary agricultural sector, in the food processing industry, and the wholesale sector, while from the retail sector towards the service industry and households, we refer to as food waste. So they continue to look for a way in which they are going to be able to combat the greenhouse gases, right? This is what they're saying. Greenhouse gas emitted from individual countries from food production that occurs within their own geographical borders. So what is happening right now? And you look at a lot of the big supply chains, like Merrick, for example, they're laying off 10,000 people, 10,000 employees, and they're handling shipping and distribution. You start to look at what's going on here, we're going to start to have a much harder time getting access to, to food like we were getting in the past. So what's going to happen is we're going to start seeing a lot more food being manufactured and produced here in America, but it's not going to be, beef. It's not going to be like that. What it's going to be is a planetary diet where food is made in warehouses and distributed nationally, right? So look at this. I'm going to show you here's a live example. We'll look at Los Angeles, for example, LA, and for context, before I even show you this, this is World Bank, right? So World Bank, they did this FAQ report. And this here, if you look at who is a part of this, you look at funders and partners, you can scroll down and you will see the same name right here, right? So it all kind of connects, just so everyone is on the same page here. So you click on our cities, you can click on Los Angeles, then you can click on View City Profile, then you click on Accelerators, and then you look for right here, Good Food Cities Accelerator. Then you come down here and you look at this. It says our diets are not just hurting our health, but also the ecosystem that supports human life. Food is among the largest drivers of global environmental change, contributing to climate, biodiversity loss, fresh water use, and interference with the global nitrogen and phosphorus cycles. And land system change. Research shows that without substantial changes, greenhouse gas emissions from the food sector will increase 38% over the next 27 years. The world is in a climate crisis, causing droughts, floods, and desertification, reducing our ability to feed everyone on the planet. 2017, emissions associated with food consumption in C40 accounted for an estimated 13% of cities. So this is Los Angeles, right? Aligning our food procurement and planetary health diet, ideally sourced from organic agriculture, supporting an overall increase in healthy plant-based food consumption in our cities and shifting away from unsustainable, unhealthy diets. So think about this. It all sounds great, right? Saying we're going to shift away from healthy food. A Big Mac combo meal cost $18, right? $18. I see people posting this all over the place. How in this inflationary environment is anyone going to be able to manufacture and produce food, healthy, really, really high quality food, if a Big Mac is $18, right? And people, they don't have disposable income. They're not able to go out there to Morton's or to some 5-star restaurant and spend $100 on a meal. They're not going to be able to produce high quality food. Big question is, how do you do this? Produce high quality food for manageable prices, $5, $7, $10. It's not going to be like that. This is going to be mass produce, right? Mass production, and which many people, I think, if they have the financial means, would opt out of, right? Many people are going to look to, other options. Reducing food loss and waste by 50%. They want to reduce food loss and waste 50%. Within 2 years of endorsing this accelerator, working with residents, businesses, public institutions, and other organizations to develop a joint strategy for implementing these measures and achieving these goals inclusively and equitably, and incorporating this strategy into our climate plan, right? Each city will develop and share an action plan, including baseline figures, environmental, health, social, economic, co-benefits where available. And so these are some of the other cities outside of America. You have Milan, and you have London, Lima, Guadalajara, Copenhagen. You have a bunch of other cities, right? So you start to look at this. We're walking into this, when they say a $10 trillion food crisis, people are going to start to see less food at the food store. People are going to start seeing less food available. And so what's going to happen if there's less food available? More money is going to be chasing a smaller amount of goods, meaning prices are going to continue to rise. And as food prices continue to rise, people are going to start demanding a new solution. What can we do about this? And then here's that new solution. We need to change our food system. And so when you already have a lot of, I mean, look at some of these cities, right? So just for context, in America, I mean, you have already a lot of the big cities already on board here. So you have Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, LA, Phoenix, Austin, Houston, New Orleans, Miami, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Chicago. So I'm not saying this to concern anyone, even though it's a topic that, you know, it's an unfortunate chain of events. But what I am saying is I think the next couple of years are very, very important to build wealth. The next couple of years are very, very important. If you have, you know, if maybe this is something that you prefer not to get involved in, the more money you have, the more options you have, the more choices you have. So I think right now, next couple of years will be very, very, very important. If you're looking at growing a business, using online and doing it strategically right now, using, you know, a lot of different resources you may have available, some ChatGPT options, outsourcing talent to different countries, building out a really, really robust team. Right now, a lot of businesses are laying off employees. It's a great time to hire, a great time to kind of bring in resources and talent. There's a lot of good that's happening for small businesses, but a lot of pain that's going to be coming down the road in the next couple of years. So position yourself as best you can. I think we're going to see a lot of assets come on the market for sale, a lot of opportunity to create wealth, and with that wealth, you'll be able to buy some freedom. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below, have a conversation about it. Please hit the like button. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for this wealth transfer, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.